protected from the slings and arrows of outrageous audience. I've faced many of them in my time. With the Indian Ocean stretching up, possibly up to South Africa, the Cape of Good Hope, round which the first Western invaders came. 1503, the Almeida. He missed his way. He thought he was going to the Galle Harbour. Instead, he landed in Colombo. And the rock at President's House has a date 1503. Up to 1658, they were here. They said they came to reform. But they built a church, they built a fort, they pillaged, they ravaged, they destroyed whatever they could find. The Dutch came after that, 1658 to 1796. They were a little better. The British from then till 1815, and all of these three countries ruled the maritime provinces. The rule of the Sri Lanka monarchs extended over the rest of the island. They belonged to various dynasties, some from the mainland of India, especially the last four. They belonged to the Nayaka dynasty of South India. The last Sinhalese monarch was Narendra Singha. He ruled from 1707 to 1739. As the Dutch offered little or no resistance to the British, the maritime provinces of Ceylon, ruled by the Dutch, were declared a crown colony. And Honorable Frederick North assumed duties as a governor on October 12th of that year, 1796. It will be interesting to know that the British captain, Stuart, I think, landed in Negombo, and he was marching up to Colombo. On the way, he met an ancestor of mine, my great-great-grandfather, who was working for the Dutch. He was captured, and the British commander said, "Tell us the secrets of the Colombo fort." He said, "I can't do that. I'm loyal to the Dutch." "Don't do that, you'll be executed," he said. But the captain had second thoughts. He said, "All right, if we capture the fort, will you join us?" Fortunately for us, they captured the fort, and we are here today. Otherwise, the line would have ceased to exist. When they came up to the Caledonia Pass, the Dutch governor gave him. I think his name was Auchinleck, I'm not quite sure. I'm speaking from memory. And the British took Colombo without a contest. The chiefs who ruled under the king in Kandy were forced by the British to sign the convention. On the 2nd March 1815, that's known as the date on which the convention was signed. From 1796, the British were trying to get Kandy, and they couldn't do so. But ultimately, on 2nd March 1815, the representative of the British government, General Brownring was here, and Doyle, they signed this treaty and handed over the government of Ceylon to George III and his representatives. The independence of Ceylon was snuffed out after a continuous and recorded history from 544 BC, extending to 2,359 years. The chiefs who signed the convention thought it was only a change of royal dynasties. They had been used to that before. And that their role in a free Lanka would continue. It was not to be so. The British treated the situation created as a capitulation. And Sri Lanka, they treated as a colony from that day. This caused the first attempt to regain freedom in 1818, and the people of many of the Canadian provinces, led by their chieftains, rose in revolt against British rule. It started in the province of Uva, in a district called Wellasser, and it spread fast. By March 1818, except for a few correlates districts to the west of Kandy, all the other areas, led by their chieftains, were up in arms against British rule. The chieftains, Kapitipola, Ellepola, Pinamatalawa, son of the late Aliga, Madugalla, and several others were arrested. Kapitipola and Madugalla were executed. Ellepola and Pinamatalawa were banished, and so was Ahalapola, who had quarreled with the king and was banished to Mauritius earlier. By the end of 1818, the revolution was crushed. Rather difficult to think that the victors of Waterloo would have fallen to Sinhalese guns and spears. This was the first and most serious violent attempt by the Sinhalese to regain the freedom they lost under the Convention of 1815. After the Canadian Convention and the suppression of the 1818 rebellion, the report of the 1829 to 1831 Royal Commissioners, Colebrook and Cameron, was implemented in 1833 by Ording Council. Ceylon was now considered as one unit, the whole island, a unitary state. Executive and legislative councils, the executive with the important officials and the legislative with the unofficial members, were created to assist the governor in 1833. The first legislative council consisted of 16 members, the governor, ex officio chairman, 9 officials, and 6 unofficial members. The 6 unofficials were nominated by the governor to represent Sinhalese, Tamil, Burgher, and several European planters and mercantile communities, possibly 3 to represent the Europeans. This council existed for 77 years, and the only change was the addition of 2 unofficial members to represent the Canadian Sinhalese and Mohammedan committees. The interesting thing as far as restoration is concerned is that Arumugam Pille Coomaraswamy, Mudlia, 1783-1836, was the first Tamil member. In 1861, Sir Muthukumaraswamy, 1824 to 1879, his son was appointed. They were the grandfather and father of Ananda Coomaraswamy, 1877 to 1947, in whose memory this oration is being delivered. Later on, you will find 2 other Tamil members, Sir Ponnambalam Ramanathan and Sir Ponnambalam Arunasham, who took a great part in these endeavors. They were also close relations, I understand, either nephews or cousins of Ananda Coomaraswamy or his father. A rudimentary separation of powers lurked in these constitutional arrangements. A centralized administration was set up with jurisdiction over the whole island. The judiciary was independent. Trial by jury had already been initiated by the Charter of 1810,